Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So to celebrate the brand new Planners Anon Booklover TN that is now available for pre-order, I thought I'd pre-make a gorgeous little notepad to put in the back of my TN. So if you want to see how I made this one, then just keep watching. Alright, so to start off with this project, you're going to need a bunch of these. So these are squares of paper. This is my Canson drawing paper. It's the paper I prefer to use whenever I'm printing anything. This is cut to 7 centimeters by 10 centimeters. I have 3 sitting here. I have pre-made a bunch, so I'm going to show you those after I show you how to make these. But you are going to need a bunch of paper for obviously the pages of your notepad. So once they have been cut, I'm going to add a little perforation on there. So to do that, I'm going to grab my We Are Memory Keepers dial trimmer, I think that's what it's called, and there is a perforation one on here. Half the reason that I've made this exactly the right size, exactly this size, is that if I put that hard up against the edge and go like this, my perforation is exactly 2 centimeters. So this is 5, to the extra 2 for the 7 gives this to 5. So that way you end up actually with a square because they're 10 centimeters high by 7 centimeters wide. Yes, that's right. So I'm going to do this to the 3 that I've got here. I've done this already to all of the other ones that I've got. So then you've got your little perforation mark on here. Then what we need to do is make this paper look a little prettier. So to do that, I'm going to grab and do a technique that, let's face it, I've done 20 times before, but just works so beautifully. So I've got myself a bit of plastic. I've got my Tombow marker in 977, which to me is the closest to kind of old paper that you can get. I did play around with a couple of different colours. This was just the best one. And then I'm just going to lay this colour out all over this bit of paper. You can do 2 of these at once. So I'm going to have to do this twice to do the 3. I meant to say 4, but I messed one up, so my bad. So I've got all the colour down. We're going to grab a little thing of water, spray that down, and then we're just going to put these on here and then move it around to get the colour on. The thing that I've been finding when I've been doing this a bunch of times is that if you pull it up and it's not quite right, see that one's nearly there but not quite. It's just got a couple of little spots. If you just do that, or if you want to, you can actually add just a little bit more water to the paper and then do that again, and it just picks up all the colour that's left over. It gives you kind of like a different kind of finish. You may need tweezers to do this to pick up the paper. That actually came up reasonably well, so not so bad. Now it's doing it. It does tend to get stuck to the paper. So there you go, you've got 2. And you just need to put them off to the side to dry. I'm just going to grab a tissue just to wipe this off. Sorry, this technique is slightly noisy. And you're going to end up with stuff all over your fingers. Another way you could do this if you don't have a Tombow pen, and I haven't tried it, so I don't know if it would work, but you could use an old tea bag, which could do the same job. Or you could do like a coffee sort of stain could work as well. You basically just need to get a brown colour on there somehow. And I know I used to use tea when I used to do this with sort of before I knew what Tombows were or how to do this the proper way. I used to do it with tea bags all the time, and it does give you a really nice finish actually. It's just slightly yellower than brown. Now, see, this is what I mean. Sometimes it comes out like that. So we'll put a little bit more colour down. Bit of water on the actual bit of paper, a bit more on there. You can actually almost fix that. Haha! This is what I love about playing with Tombows and watercolours. You can't mess it up. You can, but it's very difficult to actually mess it up. And I love the fact that each of these bits of paper, and you'll see this in a second, each of these bits of paper actually look different, and I think that's really cool to have a notepad that every page is different. Alright, so while those are drying, because they could take a little while to dry, like I said, I have been a bit clever and have pre-made a bunch of these. So I've got them sitting here. So they're all cut to the right size, and as you can see, they are all slightly different. Just a little. Some of them have more colour on them than others. Some have more speckles. Some are darker. But generally the finish is really nice on all of them. So I'm really happy with the way these have turned out. I'm just going to put the wet ones off to the side for now because I can come back and use them later if they dry fast enough. But I think I have plenty here, so I probably don't need to. So next thing you're going to need to do is grab yourself a bit of cardboard. I've grabbed craft cardboard because I think it's stronger. So what I need to do is cut this to 14 centimeters high by 8 centimeters wide. So that's going to give us enough room to be able to fold this over and then for it to sort of be the backing board that will then shove in this back pocket of the planner. So it'll sit, take the string off, that helps. It'll sit in here. This is where it's going to go. So I've just realised something. I was measuring all of this off my Wild and Free one and I reckon that's not as wide. Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Alright, so we're going to grab our ruler and a pencil and measure these out. I have 50 pencils, why can't I just grab one? So, needs to be 8 centimeters wide by 14 centimeters high. Grabbing the trimmer. Just making sure this is square. Missed. It's okay. Why doesn't that look square? There's something wrong with my trimmer at the moment. I don't know what it is and it's kind of driving me a bit bonkers. There we go. How far off 14 is that? It's about a third of a centimetre off. So I'm going to see if it works and if it doesn't I'll cut another bit. I think I've got some more of this cardboard somewhere. So I'm just going to be a bit more careful when I do this next one. There we go. I have a very big pile of stuff happening over there. So I'm just checking that that's still fine. Okay. So then we need to score this. So to do that, well not to do it, but I'm just grabbing up my mat just to protect this a little bit. I don't know if that's straight and it's going to bug me. Alright, so you need to score this in a little, you really don't get that bigger of an area to score, but you need to mark it at 2 centimeters, which is the flat that's going to come down over the top. So mark that, and then you need to mark at another 0.5 centimeter. So 2 and 2.5. And we're going to put this here, and I'm going to use this as a bit of a guide because I know that this is square because I went to all the trouble to make sure it was. So if I put that there, I know that's going to be a straight line. Just going to score along that and then go up that 0.5 centimeter. I'm actually going to bring this down so I can follow the line again. And I am using a super thin scoring tool, but you don't have to. It's just a personal preference thing. And then I'm just grabbing my scoring sort of bone folder thing just to give me a nice fold here. Oops. So this is thin and or wide enough to put in not quite the amount of paper that I've got here. This is a big stack. You don't need anywhere near this, and then I made twice as much so that if I did mess any of this up I could fix it. You can put that all in there if you wanted. I'm going to put probably about 2/3 of it in. It's probably going to end up being a bit more like half, but anyway, so it's going to sit there just like that. It's really easy, and then that'll fold over the top and that sort of protects it. Now the cool thing about this is that the back part can actually be reused. So the way we're going to stick this all together, if you did run out of the papers and you wanted to replace the notepad, you can just make the paper again and just stick it in and you'll be able to do that. So you've got two choices with how you stick these together because you do want to make this into a bit of a book. You can do two ways. You can glue if you wanted to. You can use a stapler. A stapler is how I'm going to do it because I feel like it'll be slightly easier. So I have this one here. This is actually Ryan's. It says 25 sheet power. I'd 1, 2, 3. I think this may be more than 25. Should I count them? Try and
May
do
not fold over, that's all.
What do you mean may not fold over?
The bits under there goes through. It may just
Oh, I know what you mean.
push down. So if you go from both sides, that should work.
Okay, so we're going to punch this. I'm going to punch it closer to the top, or sorry, staple it closer to the top, just so that it gets hidden underneath that flap. So they're not quite folded all the way over. I'm just going to grab my bone folder in here and just fold that a little bit more. Most of that is there, like it's secure enough, because we are going to tape this down too, which is going to make a difference too. So there we go, you got your little notepad. Oh, that looks so cool. I'm so proud of this right now. So that sticks like that. To put it actually in the book, this is where we're going to be really lazy. You could be really complicated and fancy when you do this. I'm just going to put it in with some washi tape, and what that's going to mean is when it does come time to, this is all done, you can just take out all the perforated, like the top bit, throw it away, and you can just make another one. So I'm going to line that up there, and I'm just going to put a strip of washi at the top, as close to the top as I can. Oops. Don't have to use book lover washi, by the way, just in case you're wondering. I'm just using it because I can. You don't have to. I'm actually going to stick it down the side a little, and then we'll bring it around the back, and that way it's going to sit a bit flatter. So making sure that's in the right spot. So I don't want it to do what it was just doing then, which is you kind of get the, what's the word I'm looking for? You get the, I don't want that to be taut. I want it to come down the side and then go round. And then obviously I've got a little bit too much there, but that was on purpose. So I'm just going to go like that. And then, now if you want to be super quadruple careful that that's in, you can run around that a couple of times. You could use masking tape to go around that and then go over with washi if you wanted. But it does just give it this little pretty bit at the back, in case you did want to look there. You could glue the whole thing down if you wanted to as well. So to actually shut that off, the other thing I'm going to add before I do shut this off is I'm going to add just a little bit of embellishment, because let's face it, that's what I do. So I have pre-done this, so you guys have seen me do this I don't know how many times. All I've done is run the die cut that's got this gorgeous succulents. I've just run that through my laminator first, and I'm going to stick it down on here. So when this folds down, you've got the succulents sort of on top. I just think that looks really cool. And in the back of the Booklover TN, this is where it's going to look beautiful. So all of this is in preparation for my Booklover TN, which is on its way, and I'm very, very excited. It should be here in June. I'll give you some more details about that at the end of this video. So if you do want to know about the Booklover TN, just hold fire, it's coming. Now, I've been having trouble with this particular thing of glue dots. I think it's because it's just about out. Yep, there we go. I had a feeling. Okay, that didn't work very well, but that's okay. So I'm going to stick this down. Actually, I'm going to finish sticking this down first. Because my other glue dots are being so annoying, I'm going to grab my Christina Ray glue. So we are going to put, this is slightly permanent, but it'll peel up really easily when you need it to. So if you do need to pull that bit out, because you're going to damage that, or break that bit anyway, it doesn't matter. And you can just stick that in. Then we're going to put that on the top. And because that's attached to the cardboard, I know you can't see that, but because it's attached to the cardboard, when you do need to take this out, it's actually going to be able to do that. So there we go. That's the notepad. That's when I say it's the easy part, that's not easy at all. It's a slightly long process, especially when you're making the papers and everything and cutting them all out. I would suggest a guillotine as opposed to a paper trimmer if you've got one. What you can also then do, if you want to be a crazy person, which, let's face it, I'm a crazy person. If you wanted to add some cute little embellishment, is embellishment the right word? I don't know. Extra bits, this is what you can do. So grab yourself the stamp kit. Grab yourself the cute little stamps. Any of them will do. And you can mix and match if you want. I'm going to do these in black, but you could do it in sepia, which I also do have a sepia one, which would look really cool. Just need a tissue. You can do things like this. And you could do this before you put in the book if you wanted to, but just to add a little bit to some of the pages. So I'm also just going to show you really quickly with one of the little succulent jars. Probably is easier to do before you match it all up, but it depends on if you want to do it or not. I think it adds a little bit of something, but it could be cool to add on almost after the event. So as you're using these in your planner, if you're going to use little notepads, or if you're going to use the note papers, I'll get the words right in a sec. If you're going to use them in your planner as well, it'd be cool to be able to decorate them. But that's my little notepad. It's then going to sit, like I said, in the back pocket of my TN. So I'm going to put it in my Hello Galaxy one for now. And it's just going to slide in. You can move the pen loop out of the way and it just sits there. Now I know it doesn't look all that fancy in this TN because this one's obviously Hello Galaxy and that doesn't match. I just got ink on that, but I'll fix it in a sec. But going into the book lover one, which has been announced as a pre-sale, I will put a bunch of information about it down below, but check out Planners Anonymous on Facebook or Instagram if you're interested in it. It's going to look beautiful in that TN and I'm so excited to get it. That's why I wanted to do like a project now to get me really excited because I think it's going to be amazing. I actually love the way that sits in there, and the even better thing is it's just in the right spot, so if you still wanted to use these card pockets behind here, you can still use them. It almost sits in the exact right spot, which I didn't do on purpose, but is a happy accident that I'm happy has happened. So that is my little notepad. Let me know what you think. You could use it. The same principles could be used to any of the kits, so you could change this and have this as perhaps a pale pink paper if you wanted to use it with Blossom, or even if you've got any other kind of TN and you just wanted to add a notepad to the back, you can do the same. The same principles can be applied. But like I said, it'll look beautiful in my Book Lover TN, which is coming very, very soon. That is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to make sure that you don't miss any videos, including when this actually gets put in my Book Lover TN. Like I said, the Book Lover TN is available for pre-order now. I'll put all the details for you down below. Go and check it out if you're even mildly interested, because you'll be blown away with how beautiful this TN is. I hope you guys have the best weekend, and I will see you for decoration on Sunday. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!